knowing that they're probably not going to hit it over.
Sharma's at first slip. Zampa steps back and cuts on the bounce to backward point where Bhuvaneshwar Kumar does the fielding. No run.
And I like the slip still in. Those box fielders, short cover, short mid-wicket, and the first slip there.
Chahal to Zampa, hits him down the ground. A chance of a catch at long on. This for wicket number 6. It's taken. Chahal with 6 wickets, career best figures. He gets the opposition leggy. What an outstanding performance this has been. Zampa out for 8, holding out to long on. Australia 9 for 228.
It's hard not to be excited as a leg spinner when you see a performance like that. That's outstanding bowling, and to be fair, not a bad shot by Zampa. I think he was probably aiming at the sight screen, but just pulled it a little bit, and there is nothing worse as a leg spinner than going out to another leg spinner. So I think from an Australian point of view, though, here there's still what have we got here? At least 2 overs after this. I think it's important that they eke out as many runs as they can in these last few overs, and well, can he get another one? I mean, you might as well go from a 5 for being your best to 7. I think that would be a very impressive return. Big Billy, out he comes.
Stanlake, who stands almost at double the height of Chahal. Good safe hands down at long on from Shankar, who took the catch on debut for India. Chahal in. Tosses it up on the stumps. Forward in defence comes Siddle, with the batsman having crossed.
I wonder how long that handle is for Billy Stanlake. I always think it must be a bit longer, surely.
It's a billiard cue. Chahal bowls the last ball of his 10 overs, and it's played away through square leg by Siddle for 1. Siddle 9, Australia 9 for 229. And the round of applause goes up around the MCG. Yuzvendra Chahal, 6 for 42, a career best. They brought him back in and perhaps got even more than they could have ever dreamed of. His previous best, 5 for 22 versus South Africa, Centurion back in February. 2 overs to go in the Australian innings, 9 for 229. This Australian player would probably be happy to see the back of Chahal. They've still got others to contend with, like Mohammad Shami. 1 for 46. He's got just the 1 over remaining, and that's all they need. Up comes Shami, right arm over the wicket. Outside the off stump, fending at one is Siddle. Goes through to Dhoni behind the stumps.
Well, with this field, it's unlikely he's going to pitch up too much. The mid-off's inside the ring. I think we'll see a lot of short balls here, and maybe a slow ball here. We saw a slow ball in his last over first ball, and I think he'll try and mix really well and see if he can't just get this last wicket.
White towel in the back of his strides. Shami back to the top of his mark, runs in from the members' end, passes the umpire and bowls to Siddle. Siddle turns it around the corner, behind square leg. He's thinking 2, Darwin field. Siddle comes back, Stanlake goes, Siddle aborts, sends Stanlake back. 1 strike, he was back in his crease. Big Billy, 9 for 230, Siddle to 10, and Billy Stanlake to face the music.
Good decision, and I'll tell you what that bat looks like. It looks like he was holding a table tennis bat down there. It looks absolutely tiny in his hands, and I reckon he's hoping that Shami might pitch this one up, but I think he might get the opposite to that.
It's like one of those supermarket minis, one of those promotional minis that were all the rage not so long ago. Stanlake faces Shami, and he comes forward in defence, and he's beaten. Goes past the outside edge.
I think he was expecting the short one there, and Shami surprised everyone. Full in length. I think he's just got to get himself off strike here. Peter Siddle's got a lot of experience. If he can face the majority of the balls, I think that's how Australia are going to try and get this total up. And 9 balls remaining.
9 for 230, the slower ball from Shami, the previous one at only 123.4 k's an hour. The slip in play, bowl! Shami goes right the Australian innings comes to an end. All out for 230. Stanlake no score, Siddle not out 10. Shami a second wicket. Australia has been dismissed. Inside 49 overs at the MCG, India will be chasing 231 to win the series.
Very good bowling, and as we said before, he's been the forgotten man in this Indian bowling attack. It's hard to go past Chahal and Kumar, I think, have been the pick of the bowlers, but Shami has come on at different times and done a great job for his captain and picking up that last wicket. Australia would be disappointed to leave balls out there. I think when the total's 230, you can't afford to leave any out there, but it's going to take a incredibly disciplined bowling performance from this Australian team if they want to win this game. And as I said before, I think Adam Zampa is going to have to play a pretty big role tonight, so I think he's also a good inclusion to this Australian team.
Chahal was going to lead the Indian players off the field. He had the ball in his hand raised, which is the newish tradition for bowlers, and one I certainly like, but he's been called across to the television broadcaster, so that little moment has passed as the Indian players make their way off the field. India exceptional again with ball and in the field. 230 Australia has posted, dismissed in 48.4 overs. It started with Carey dismissed in the third over after Australia was sent in. He was caught by Kohli at second slip off Bhuvaneshwar Kumar for 5. The score 1 for 8 when he departed. At the end of the ninth over, Finch, who looked unsteady and very nervous for much of his innings, he was trapped in front by Bhuvaneshwar Kumar for 14 off 24, 2 for 27 when the Australian captain was out. Marsh put on a decent partnership with Khawaja, adding 73 for the third wicket. Marsh out, first ball of the 24th over, stumped off Chahal for 39 off 54. Khawaja followed only a few balls later, caught and bowled by Chahal for 34, 4 for 101 when Khawaja fell. Stoinis out in the 30th over, caught Rohit at slip, a sharp chance moving to his right to take it off Chahal for 10. Maxwell caught Bhuvaneshwar Kumar at fine leg, an excellent catch diving forward off Shami for 26 off 19. Richardson fell in the 44th over, caught Jadab at mid-wicket off Chahal for 16. Hanscom LBW, Chahal for 58 off 63. Another fine innings from Pete Hanscom in trying conditions. Zampa, he was caught by Shankar at long on trying to hit Chahal, the opposition leggy, out of the ground. He was caught at long on for 8, 9 for 228 when he departed, and Stanlake bowled Shami for no score as Australia was dismissed for 230. Siddle not out 10 at the end, so a victory target of 231 for India. Career best bowling figures for Chahal: 10 overs, 6 for 42. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar 2 for 28 off 8 overs. Shami 2 for 47 off 9.4. Shankar on debut, none for 23 off 6. Jadab bowled 6 overs, none for 35 with his off-spin variations. Kristen Beams, sum it up for us on grandstand one-day cricket before we head to news and around the grounds to the tennis.
Yeah, look, I think disappointing from an Australian point of view, and we were slow to get going and we lost wickets early and we lost our way with some intent there, and I think it was a hard slog from there. But again, as we spoke about, Pete Hanscom, a bit of a shining light for me, and I'm really impressed with the way that he's gone about his cricket. I think it would be easy for him to be down on himself after the test series and how that unfolded, but I think we saw him come back through the Big Bash, play an excellent hand for the Melbourne Stars, and then see him play some of his best cricket out here in really trying conditions. And I think from a Justin Langer point of view, the character of that is exactly what they're looking for in this Australian team. But look, it's all about the Indian bowlers. I think they've been outstanding. Chahal, 6 for best bowling figures out here in an overcast MCG with a wicket that was playing a little bit slow is very, very telling, and really good to see a leg spinner doing well, and hopefully Zampa can come out here and do the same thing. And unfortunately for Chahal, as you say, you walk off the ground, you raise the ball and you get pulled over for media, and it's always a bit of a bugbear as a player these days, is that you can't just bowl well or you can't just bat well and then just head down to the change rooms and chill out. You then have to do all the media, which it was never really my preference. You're trying to get yourself off. You're like, this is great. I'm going to just chill out, hang out with the teammates, and all of a sudden you're speaking to everyone. Everyone's wanting to take a photo and talk to you, but I think it's a wonderful performance by him, and I'm sure he'll enjoy spending some time with the boys after this game and celebrating a very, very impressive bowling display.
Someone's going to pay the bills, Kristen.
Well, that's right. I mean, I sit up here now and I'm looking at it. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. We want to speak to everyone. We want to talk to all the players now. And when I'm out there playing, you can sort of see someone. I can see Matt walking towards me and he wants to talk to me in a Big Bash game, and I start trying to walk the other direction because I don't know what's
commentary advice half the time. He might be sending you down post-match to do a few interviews based on those previous comments, I think.
I'll say, great game. What do you think? Yep, good. Thanks very much.
More from Kristen Beams as the evening progresses here at the MCG. India will be chasing 231 to wrap up this series. Australia's going to need some early wickets, it would seem. Shortly we'll update the tennis, also the Tour Down Under and the Tour Match down at Belrive. But first, we go to the latest edition of ABC News.
ABC News, I'm Michael Walsh. The father of slain exchange student Aya Masawi has visited the site where she died in Melbourne's north. The 21-year-old Israeli was attacked after getting off a tram in Bandura late on Tuesday evening. A 20-year-old man was arrested in Greensboro this morning. Saeed Masawi says he prays his daughter is in a better place.
I have many dreams to be with her, but I cannot now. I want to be with her more time, but someone decide I cannot be.
Northern Territory Police have laid more Carver-related charges in northeast Arnhem Land. Stephanie Zillman reports.
Police say a 25-year-old man was arrested in Nhulunbuy yesterday and charged with possessing and supplying a commercial quantity of kava in 2016. They say a trafficable quantity charge was later added after they found 24 kilograms of the material at the man's home. The arrest came after a police contract worker was charged over kava-related matters in Ramingining on Wednesday. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, announced in Vanuatu this week that he intends to relax Australia's rules around importing the substance, despite Indigenous Affairs Minister Nigel Scullion's previous calls for a national ban.
Scientists from the Australian Antarctic Program are to begin the most comprehensive study ever undertaken into the endangered blue whale. Phoebe Hosier reports.
A team of 28 international scientists are about to embark on a 7-week voyage to study the giant mammal, its poo and the krill it eats. While blue whales are the biggest animals to ever live on Earth, spanning 3 bus lengths, very little is known about them. Deputy Chief Scientist Dr. Eleanor Bell says the research will form a baseline study into the health of the marine ecosystem and involve a number of scientific firsts.
Studies like ours make little incremental steps to finding out how important these whales are, and hopefully whale numbers are going to recover and productivity will increase again.
The team leave Hobart for the Antarctic ice shelf tomorrow.
European countries are continuing to make contingency plans in case Britain leaves the EU in March without a deal. Larry Buttrose reports.
As British Prime Minister Theresa May works on a new plan to put before Parliament later this month, European countries are making plans of their own to deal with feared snarls in air traffic and paralysis in ports. France is hiring hundreds of extra customs officers, and Portugal is opening special airport lanes for travellers from Britain, its main source of tourists. The Netherlands is scouring for vets to do checks on live imports. Britain is spending billions on measures to mitigate the worst effects, but officials can still only speculate what might happen if the UK does crash out of the EU without a deal on March the 29th.
A senior North Korean negotiator has arrived in Washington as speculation mounts about a second summit between Kim Jong-un and US President Donald Trump. The BBC's Barbara Klett-Usher reports from Washington.
Kim Yong-chol arrived on a commercial flight from Beijing. It was the first time in 19 years that a top North Korean official stayed overnight in the nation's capital. He's reported to be carrying a new letter from Kim Jong-un to President Trump, meant to pave the way for a second summit. This is what he did last June, and the meeting in Singapore followed. That led to a vague agreement on denuclearization, which went nowhere after North Korea refused to provide details of its nuclear and missile facilities and demanded that sanctions be eased.
Colombia's President Ivan Duque has declared 3 days of national mourning as the death toll from a car bombing in the capital Bogota rises to at least 21. Nearly 80 people were injured in the attack on a police academy. Most of the victims were young police cadets. The president says it was a terrorist attack. And in the tennis, local favourite Ashley Barty has advanced to the 4th round of the Australian Open for the first time. Jean Edwards reports.
Ashley Barty has downplayed injury concerns after beating Greece's Maria Sakkari 7-5, 6-1 under the centre court roof in Melbourne. Barty took a medical time-out after the first set, but insists it's nothing to worry about.
It was more just for a bit of reassurance and support, but I knew it wouldn't affect me on court, so it was more just for reassurance.
Roger Federer has also advanced to the 4th round of the men's draw with a comfortable straight sets win over America's Taylor Fritz. Australian Alex de Minaur takes on Rafael Nadal tonight. Jean Edwards, ABC News at the Australian Open.
And that's the latest from ABC News. For more news, you can go to our website. That's news.abc.net.au.
In an emergency, turn to a source you can trust to keep your family safe. The ABC. We will be with you across another Australian summer with all the challenges of fires, floods, storms, cyclones, heat waves and power outages. Tune to ABC Radio for up-to-date information on any threat as it happens. ABC Radio, on air, online and on the ABC Listen app. Grandstand Cricket. ABC Grandstand's coverage of the cricket.
Australia versus India.
Got a really good seam position. Kumar can go both ways, but his ability to take the ball away from the left-hander from around the wicket, very good. Comes up again and bowls and carry off the end, straight to second slip. John Hastings preempting things in the grandstand commentary box. Coley takes the catch. Carey goes out for 5, and he hits the bat in the field for LBW. Out. Is that the first batsman in the history of the game to be dismissed after a dead ball? Pinches out. LBW to Kumar for 14.
Shadhav bowls to Shaun Marsh, who's back and pulling, hitting through deep mid-wicket. One bounce over the rope for 4.
And he's in great touch now.
He rolls in again, tosses high down the leg side, stumping. That'll be a wide and a stumping, I think. It was outside the leg stump. Now it's a wide. It's one of the things in cricket you do not often see. Stumped off a wide. So 1 run to the score and a wicket. Shalal now to Khawaja. Khawaja waits and miscues. He's caught bowl on the leading edge. He's knocked the ball straight back down the pitch. Australia have got the wobbles again. Hit hard by Stoinis. Does he get it through? He does. Jadeja dives at mid-on, but he leaps over the top of it and it runs out to the rope. Chahal bowls a little flatter off the edge and taken. Rohit Sharma dives to his right and takes an outstanding catch. Stoinis is out. Caught Rohit Sharma. Chahal has a 3rd wicket. And Australia in a dire predicament here if they cannot find a decent partnership, the Australians. Maxwell on strike. He swats one away through mid-wicket. Rips it from outside the off stump with the horizontal bat. Nice wrist work to pull it to the onside for 4.
Shami in short ball. This time Maxwell flicks it in the air. He might be caught. Oh, yes! Great catch coming in. The ridish fine leg and Deshram Kumar lunging forward was able to claim the catch and Glenn Maxwell has to go.
What can Hanscom do? Plays down towards wide mid-on and he runs through for a single that brings up another half-century during the series. The tests may have not gone to plan for Peter Hanscom, but in this one-day series he's been a shining light in the Australian batting lineup in the middle order. Chahal bowls, flat delivery, wraps him on the pad, given! Hanscom is out! Chahal, an extraordinary MCG performance for India, has 5 for. Chahal to Zamba, hits him down the ground. A chance of a catch at long on. This for wicket number 6, it's taken.
ABC Grandstand's coverage of the one-day internationals.
Australia versus India.
On ABC Radio.
Grandstand Digital, online.
And now on the ABC Listen app.
Yeah, the highlights there of Australia's innings after they were sent in by Virat Kohli. Series victory up for grabs, and the Aussies never quite got settled. We had a slightly delayed start due to rain and another delay in the first over, and just no real momentum for the home side at the MCG. Wickets falling at regular intervals. They got to 230 all out in the 49th over. The victory target 231 for the touring Indians to feel fulfilled off the back of their Test Series victory 2-1. They're in the box seat, you would think, to achieve that same scoreline in the 50-over format this evening. Welcome back to the Grandstand studio. Brett Sprigg with you for just a few moments. Career best figures as well for Yuzvendra Chahal, the pick of the bowlers, 10 overs. 6 for 42. What a day out for him on his return to the side. Not forgetting as well the upcoming Test Series. 2 tests against Sri Lanka starting in Brisbane, with the day-night test starting on Thursday. Of course, you'll hear that series on your home for cricket, ABC Grandstand. But the Sri Lankans are currently in Hobart playing a 3-day game under day-night conditions with the pink ball against the Cricket Australia 11. It is, in effect, a bit of a centre wicket practice, but nonetheless, an important hit out for a few of our Test hopefuls as well. Sri Lanka currently batting in their first innings. They are 3 for 137. Midway through this second day. The batsman there currently, the skipper, Dinesh Chandimal, unbeaten on 32. Roshan Silva with him on 15. Dismissed so far. Karuna Ratne for 44. Thiramana for 32. And Samara Wickrama for 11. So 3 for 137. 2 wickets for Scott Boland and 1 for Chris Tremaine as far as the Australian bowlers are concerned. So a bit to keep an eye on there as we turn our attention to that 2-test series against Sri Lanka. Let's check on the tennis.
Grandstand tennis.
With a recap of what's happened on day 5 at Melbourne Park so far. Let's again say a very good afternoon to Andrew Mays.
Hello, Brett and Carm, at a very important time in the third set in this third round match between Maria Sharapova and Caroline Wozniacki, the defending champion from last year. Wozniacki, the number 3 seed, Sharapova, the number 30 seed. Sharapova fought back from 4-1 down in the first set to take it 6 games to 4. Wozniacki broke in the final game of the second set to take that 6 games to 4. So a level at 1 set all, and in the third and deciding set, currently 1 all. So a very important time in this match at the moment. Lots of focus on this one from an Australian perspective as well, because the winner will face Ashley Barty, who went through earlier today. The first time she's ever been past the third round of the Australian Open, with a straight sets victory over Maria Sakkari from Greece. Barty, the number 15th seed, won 7-5, 6-1 in what was a pretty impressive performance, shrugging off a couple of injury concerns, and after the match she spoke and said that that was not too much bother out there, even though she did have a medical timeout during the game. She had a couple of match points in the set. It only took 2 match points rather in the second set to get the win. Her serving was impressive as well, probably the part of her game that has improved a lot over the last 18 or so months. 13 aces, and she smashed 24 winners in the straight sets victory. She said afterwards she was going straight for an ice bath, some physio, a coffee, and then to watch the cricket as well. So Ash Barty's afternoon has been sorted. She'll be back in action on Sunday and play the winner of this game between Caroline Wozniacki and Maria Sharapova. Some of the other results today, good news for Roger Federer fans. He was through pretty easily in straight sets, 6-2, 7-5, 6-2 over Taylor Fritz from the USA. He'll now play Stefanos Tsitsipas, who also went through in fairly comfortable circumstances in 4 sets, 6-3, 3-6, 7-6, 6-4. Thomas Berdych was a little bit of a surprise on the men's side of things, defeating Diego Schwartzman from Argentina, the number 18th seed. Thomas Berdych unseeded in this tournament, but has enjoyed a lot of success at the Australian Open. He's only missed the quarterfinals once since 2017, where he was eliminated in the third round, so very consistent in the first Grand Slam of the year. He's through to the next round, and a couple of games on court at the moment. Francis Tiafoe from the USA and Andrea Seppi from Italy. Seppi took the first set 7-6, lost the second 3-6, and leads 4-1 in the third set at the moment. And Grigor Dimitrov is taking on Fabiano from Italy, the 20th seed, 7-6, 6-4, and love all in the third set. So Grigor Dimitrov, the Bulgarian, for the 20th seed there. Looks like he may well be progressing fairly shortly. On the women's side of things, Sloane Stephens currently on court at the moment. She won the first set 7-6 and currently trails 4-5, but games on serve in the second, so she'll be hoping she can force a tiebreak there in a couple of games or sneak a late break to get through to the next round. And also we're looking forward a little later on tonight to Kimberly Birrell, who will take on Angelique Kerber. That's after the feature match tonight on the men's side of things on Rod Laver Arena. Alex Diminor, the number 27th seed and hometown hero here in Australia, he'll take on the number 2 seed Rafael Nadal, and then Kimberly Birrell, as I mentioned, to play Angelique Kerber from Germany, also the number 2 seed on the women's side of things. So a bit of a blockbuster night in terms of the Aussies coming up on Rod Laver Arena. Luckily we've got the roofs closed here, so no threat of any delays tonight. And currently Caroline Wozniacki 2-1 up in the third set. The game's on serve against Maria Sharapova. We'll keep you updated on that, Brett, all throughout the next hour or so, and the winner will take on Ashley Barty. So a bit of interest there from an Australian point of view.
Tanya Maisie will check in with Andrew Mays at Melbourne Park again very shortly. If you are just joining us, Australia all out for 230 in the third one-day international at the MCG, not far from where Maisie is at Melbourne Park, and the run chase to begin shortly. 2:31 required for series victory for India. On to the cycling.
Grandstand cycling.
The fourth stage of the tour down under from Unley to Campbelltown in South Australia. A stage win today for the reigning champion Daryl Impey, the South African who rides for the Australian team, Mitchelton Scott. Here are the closing stages courtesy of Channel 7.
Paddy Bevan's going over the top, and Paddy Bevan is going to win the stage, or is it Impey? Impey to the right, the defending champion of this race, Daryl Impey, the fastest man in the bunch. Oh boy, that is a big result.
That is a massive result for Daryl Impey, the South African defending champion. Paddy Bevan in second, and it looked to me Luis Leon Sanchez was able to hang in there for third.
A lot of hard work from the team, 10 precious bonus seconds that got to give you enormous confidence coming into the next days.
It's fantastic to win today. We knew it was going to be a hard one to win, but the guys put their faith in me. Luke did a massive job in the beginning there, bringing that break back, and Hippie as well. And then Maddie and those guys are just looking after me, and then our youngster Lucas Hamilton, he just really rode like a true professional at the end, committed 100%, and I knew if I lined up Paddy Bevan I'd have a good shot at winning. So yeah, super happy to win today.
So after the race split up on the uphill bit, were you always confident you're gonna come back in the downhill and then winning the sprint, or you had a moment where you thought, oh, we might not come back?
To be honest, I had a good mate who passed away early January, so I had him in my mind, Justin, and I dedicate this win to him because I was really pushing at the end for him, and I'm so stoked to have done something like this so special for him.
Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing that for us. Best of luck for tomorrow.
And some reaction there from Daryl Impey as well. So a stage win today, his first of this campaign. As I said, the defending champion, and no one has actually won back-to-back men's tour down unders. So history could await Daryl Impey. He's 7 seconds behind the leading GC rider, which is Paddy Bevan, who he beat today in that stage. And with 2 stages of the TDU still to come before Sunday's finish at Wollonga Hill. We'll keep you across it all as part of the flavour of our national grandstand program tomorrow and Sunday. And speaking of sports on 2 wheels, a huge achievement overnight into this morning for Aussie Toby Price, who's won his second Dakar Rally motorbike title. He won a dramatic final stage with the finish in Lima. This year's Dakar Rally was held exclusively in Peru for the first time. He actually broke his wrist before the race, but still competed. He had only a minute's lead over the Chilean rider Pablo Quintanilla. An early crash sent Quintanilla off his bike, and he lost 19 minutes to drop to 4th overall, which allowed Toby Price to claim the stage the stage win. It was his first stage win, and of course overall win of this year's Dakar Rally. Now a 2-time winner, of course, going back to 2016. Here's some reaction from Toby Price, who spoke afterwards.
I'm over the moon. I'm so damn stoked, and it's been a long 10 days, and now I just wait and see what damage I've done to the wrist. So we'll at the end of the pain and the torture's been worth it.
So great stuff for Toby Price and his team. I know Karen Ty takes a special interest in the Dakar Rally each year. More reaction to come on the Grandstand weekend tomorrow and Sunday as well. Huge achievement for Toby Price. Congratulations from all of us here at Grandstand. And significant news in rugby league. South Sydney Rabbitohs captain Greg Inglis has announced he'll retire from the NRL at the end of 2020, but he did say that this year, 2019, will be his final season playing representative football. So after 32 State of Origin games for Queensland, 39 Test matches for Australia, he won't be going on any further beyond 2019 in rep footy and will wind up his first grade career at the end of 2020. Here's just a little bit of what Greg Inglis had to say.
It's just a quick message to let you guys all know before it actually hits the media outlets that, you know, a decision that I've made on, purely on my own and purely because it's, my decision, and it's something that I've been thinking about for the last 2.5 months. At the end of 2020, I'll be hanging up the boots. I'll be giving away the game, but, I'll be staying around this club, hopefully for a long time after I retire. For the next 2 years, I'll be, giving everything I can to this great club. 2019 will be my last rep season. Therefore, next year will be solely concentrated on the mighty South Sydney Rabbitohs. So, in saying that, I just want to thank you all for welcoming me into, open arms here at South Sydney. Ever since I came here at the end of 2010, it's 8 years now that I've been at this club, and every single moment, every single year, I know I've had a number of coaches and different staff around, but one thing that hasn't changed is the passion that you guys give to us each and every week at every single game, and even when you come down to your Redfern here. So just want to say thank you so much. Thank you very much for the love that you have given me, and all I can say is that I'm just going to be here and for the next 2 years, and I'll be looking forward to the next chapter in my life after 2020. So as this may come as a surprise to a lot of people, I think it's time for me to obviously hang the boots up at the end of my contract. So once again, thank you very much for showing me love and appreciation, and hopefully you'll see you at the games through trial matches or one of our home games or away games here in Sydney. Take care, and God bless you all, and next 2 years, let's aim for 2 premierships.
So the man they call GI setting an end date for his illustrious first grade and rep footy career as well. Big news out of rugby league from earlier this morning. Any more information across a variety of sports, head to our website abc.net.au/grandstand.
Catch 2 full seasons of Australia's Walkley Award-winning true crime investigations podcast, Unravel.
It was foul play, and it was a cover-up.
Season 1, Blood on the Tracks, takes on Indigenous justice in country Australia. And Season 2, Barrenjoey investigates stories of rape and murder on Sydney's northern beaches in the 70s.
And the objective is to get to the truth.
The unmissable true crime series, Unravel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, or hear it now on the ABC Listen app.
ABC Grandstand's coverage of the one-day internationals.
Australia versus India.
On ABC Radio.
Grandstand Digital. Online.
And now on the ABC Listen app.
231 is the victory target for India. Australia all out for 230 in the 49th over a short time ago, and series victory on the cusp for either of these two teams as well. Let's head back to the MCG for an update on, how the weather might be looking at this stage. John Hastings is in position for the run chase, and along with him we say a very good evening again to Matt Clinch.
Thank you, Spriggy. Nice to be back with you at the MCG, where the big covers are just being removed at the moment, so they're hopeful that it's just a passing shower at John Hastings. It's been that kind of day in Melbourne. We lost 20 minutes at the start of play. We were meant to sort of start at 1:20 local time. We had 2 balls, and then the rain fell once more, just as India looked like they were ready to put a bit of pressure on Australia. We had a bit more rain for another 15 minutes or so, and then play was eventually underway at just before 2 o'clock local time in Melbourne. And we got through reasonably well the Australian batting innings, as Brett made mention of, all out for 238, but just some pesky clouds around at the moment.
Yes, it's been stop-start with the rain, but it's also stop-start with the Australian batting innings, wasn't it?
Yes.
I think the Aussies have been kicking themselves a little bit. I think they're probably around 40 or 50 short here, the MCG. Just towards the back end of the innings, I felt that the wicket was just getting better and better, and we know that we've watched a lot of cricket here over the years, that the wicket tends to get better here at the MCG as the game goes on, and you can really chase down any score. So with the Indian batting lineup, you would have to think that they would be eyeing off a very easy series win if Australia isn't to get any early wickets.
Aaron Finch made 14, Alice Carey 11, Usman Khawaja 34, Sean Marsh 39, Pete Hanscom 58, Marcus Stoinis 10, Glenn Maxwell 26, Jai Richardson 16, Adam Tampa 8, Willie Stanley a duck, and Pete Siddle was not out for 10. When you read through that Australian batting card, it feels like there was a couple of opportunities missed. Usman Khawaja is probably the one that stands out for me, a leading edge off the bottom of the bat, caught and bowled for Chanderhold, but it was sort of followed immediately from the previous dismissal of Sean Marsh, which sort of added a little bit of salt to the wound.
Well, it was an interesting innings, really, wasn't it? You saw Sean Marsh get stumped down the leg side, which you hardly ever see, and then Usman Khawaja just innocuously turning the ball back to Yuzi Chahal, and it just never really got going, did it? I mean, Khawaja was the one that you probably would want to go through then, facing 51 deliveries, so you know, he's probably kicking himself. And then you look down the order again. Petey Hanscom played a really good knock, then LBW out. Stoinis came and went 10. Glenn Maxwell played a poor shot, top edge, after getting a couple of bounces earlier in the over from Shami. So it was just a really strange sort of innings there from the Australians.
So the word is filtering through that if there's no further rain, the innings will commence at 5 to 6 local time, so that's in about 5 minutes time. So the ground staff are doing their work here at the MCG. They're pulling off the big covers and just the Hessian cover at the moment over the top. We know how quickly the outfield drains, but there'll probably be just a little bit of surface water, and from an Australian point of view, with just 230 to defend, they'd love a fully fit Mitchell Stark or a Pat Cummins or someone just to throw the ball to and put a bit of pressure on. This top three of Shikhar Dhawan, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, who are all just sitting at the dugout with pads on, bats between the legs, with full intent of we're ready to finish this job.
Well, they all look pretty relaxed there, don't they? They're just having a bit of a laugh and having a bit of a chat amongst themselves. But yeah, look, Australia are going to need Big Billy Stanlake and Jai Richardson just to try and crack this game open. I think if they're going to go to win this game, they're going to need probably those three men that I'm just seeing on screen now in Dhawan, Kohli and Rohit Sharma. So it's just one of those things. I think in a low total, I think the Indians are going to come out and play the way they normally play, and that's being attacking and taking the bowling on. So it'll be interesting to see how this just all pans out. Exciting of the series.
So the Australian team are just huddled to the right of the dugout, ready hopefully for play to get back underway in around 5 minutes time. We spoke about Mitch Stark in terms of best bowling figures in all one-day internationals here at the MCG. Mitch Stark 6 for 43 against India in 2015. Ajit Agarwal 6 for 42 against Australia in 2004. And his venture Chahal, who we saw today, 6 for 42 against Australia. So only 3 players, as Jared Cameron tells us, have taken 6.
Gore in the IPL, and he turned the ball. It was a slow turn out there, but he really gave it a rip. He's got a really good wronger. He's got a top spinner, so that's what you need to bring as a wrist spinner in white ball cricket these days, is just the ability to be able to turn the ball both ways and just have a point of difference, and he certainly got that. So well done to him, but yeah, he looks like a very, very good prospect. Taking 6 wickets in any one-day international is a tough thing to do, especially if you're a spinner and only 4 out through the middle period.
And the lead up to a World Cup year, it sort of just does crystallise in the mind of the captain that you're a part of that team. As I spoke to Chet Narula, who will join us again for the Indian batting innings. He was probably already part of that conversation, to be honest, but it does just, I guess, further cement India's plans. Traditionally, they've gone with sort of 2 pacers, 2 spinners, a part-timer. So the sort of pecking order as to who gets what spots ahead of a World Cup is always up for debate with a series against Australia and, of course, New Zealand.
Yeah, it is, and I think just these next probably 5 or so one days that they have. I know they've got a series. Australia will go over shortly after India get back from a 3-week tour of white ball cricket in New Zealand. So these next sort of 10 one-dayers for everyone around the world is really trying to push towards that 2019 World Cup and really try and solidify the order, solidify your bowlers, just make sure that you've got the right combinations for the conditions over in England as well.
John Hastings alongside Matt Clinch on Grandstand one-day cricket. The good news is the players are having us. Righto, let's get out there and let's play. So we're a couple of minutes away from the scheduled start time, but the Australian in their 1980 retro kick around there in the middle, and two Indian opening batsmen, Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan, striding their way back to the pitch. So needing 231 for victory. India will feel like they have the game in their hands to some extent if they can get away to a good start. The usher back on this young Australian bowling lineup. Jai Richardson's going to start with the ball at the Great Southern Stand end here at the MCG. The floodlights are on. The crowd is a bit under 44,000 as the day session switches into night session, and would he try and emulate some of that form we saw previously in the one-day international where he and Jason Behrendorff bowled so well, and put India back straight on the back foot.
It's certainly not without the possibility that the Australians take a couple of early wickets here, but they're going to have to be as disciplined as the Indian bowlers were to start with and make use of these two new balls. Stanley will partner Jai Richardson at the members end, but I like what I see from Jai Richardson. I think he's got all the makings of a very, very good white ball bowler. Even probably push on to maybe try and play some test cricket as well. He swings the ball, he's fast, he runs in, he's got a lot of energy.
Fine-legged third man is back, 2 slips as Richardson starts the Australian bowling innings, and Rohit Sharma's happy to leave it outside the off stump. A bit of movement there as well. Hastings, which the Australian bowling cartel will like the sign of that.
Yep, 2 slips are there ready and waiting for that edge of Rohit Sharma's bat. Jai Richardson, we saw up in Sydney, got the ball to really talk, taking the ball away, but even still, just that one going through to Alex Carey on the half volley. This pitch still not a fast one, but reasonably flat.
Richardson at the top of his mark once more. Bowls to Rohit Sharma, who defends out onto the offside. Good content from the Australian fielders, Marcus Stoinis and Glenn Maxwell. A bit of a tangle as they race in from point and cover point to try and just set the tone. No easy singles on offer.
You're going to have to do that as well. They feel very, very well when you have a lowish total. That's crucial. Everyone's got to be around, buzzing around, cutting off those ones, taking a couple of really good catches.
Finches at mid-off, Larger at mid-on, mid-wicket as well. Richardson in to Sharma, wide outside the off-stump, and he slashes out at backward a point. He rolls down to Peter Siddle, the third man, for a single. Sharma off the mark, India off the mark, none for one in the first over.
Definite shape there, as we said, but Rohit Sharma loves that. He blazes away outside the off-stump. The outside edge.
And when it comes to white ball cricket, there's not too many who strike the ball as well as Rohit Sharma. So much so that there's a new category for him when it comes to one-day internationals with double centuries. Anytime you can change the way the game's viewed, you are in a class of your own. Richardson bowls to Shikhar Dhawan, who shows the full face of the bat, defending back down the pitch.
That ball just stopped in the wicket a little bit there, so the two Indian batters out there are just going to have to be watchful for the first probably 5 or 6 overs and just get a real feel for this pitch. I think we saw the Australian batters, Aaron Finch, a couple of plays and misses, and Edge. Usman Khawaja was the same, couple of plays and misses. Alex Carey then nicking off as well, so they've got to be watchful.
Richardson into Darwin, who's trying to work it onto the leg side, plays it down to mid-on. Aaron Finch does the fielding of dot ball.
Not the type of wicket where you can just come out and blaze away from ball one. Really got to graft an innings. It just takes a little bit to get used to the way the ball reacts off the surface here at the MCG sometimes when you get a slowish pitch like this.
There's two. 1 for 1 in the first one-day international, 1 for 47 their opening stand as Richardson's into single. So a good start from the Australians, just a one-run coming from the opening over from Jai Richardson. India none for one, Rohit Sharma on one, Shikhar Dhawan yet to score. India chasing 231 for victory. Matt Lynch alongside John Hastings on grandstand one-day cricket. So when you have the ball in this scenario, what are you thinking? What's running through your mind? Are you starting with a few outswingers just to see how much movement there is?
Yeah, that's pretty much spot on. Man, it's just about summing up the conditions as early as possible. If you get a wicket, if you get a ball that reacts off the surface differently, then you might want to stay with that. In terms of just whether it's a cross seamer or whether it's swinging, you've really got to try and assess the conditions, because here at the MCG at times it can be different. Sometimes the wicket can seam early, sometimes it swings. If it's a hot day with the sun out, you probably don't get any movement at all. So it's about your senior players just getting that message around, letting you know what the best type of delivery is on the surface.
Peter Siddle starts the second over from the members' end, and Rohit Sharma opens the blade and plays it in the air momentarily. Short of Glenn Maxwell off the point.
Peter Siddle. Yeah, interesting. I thought Big Billy Stanley would have got the nod, but Aaron Finch opting for the experience of Pete Siddle. I don't mind that. Presents the scene very, very well. Peter Siddle, so if there is any movement, he'll be the one to extract it.
I thought maybe the height of Billy Stanley might just challenge these two, but of course trying to get the length right will be the challenge. Siddle comes in, bowls on middle stump to Rohit Sharma, who's forward and defending. Osman Khawaja, who does the fielding mid-on. India none for one in the second over.
He's really had a resurgence, Pete Siddle, of his white ball career, starting last year with the Adelaide Strikers. He was one of the reasons why the Strikers went on to win the Big Bash title last year. Very economical. Picked up wickets as well.
Yeah. Settle in, calling to Rohit Sharma. Who's struck on the pad, still appealing, pleading for the finger to go up. And now he's going to go to Alice Keira to try and work out if they should go upstairs. Sharma was a long way forward. Now they'll turn to Aaron Finch, and he will refer it. What was your initial thought, John Hastings?
Initially, I thought it might be a scratch of time. Sitting here, but I think that gave me an indication that maybe they've changed the way they do the DRS in Australia, because Aaron Finch stayed out of those conversations. It was really the keeper and the bowler going at it, and then just turned to Aaron Finch and said, yeah, we think that might be a one to review. So it's interesting.
We'll pause here and get the voice of Richard Kettlebell, the third umpire.
Okay, clearly no batting balls. We'll go to Paul Trickle on the red one.
It's in the back, foot high above the pad. Should be whether it's going over.
It's definitely on. It's in outside. Nice ball.
Clipping the top of middle stump, and it comes up as umpire's call, therefore not out.
That's the frustration of the DRS. Peter Siddle's just having a bit of a word to Goffey on the way past. So what do you think, mate? It's just high umpire's call. So, but it's an interesting tactic. I think maybe they've changed the way they go about their process in Australia.
Siddle wasting no time, charging back into Rohit Sharma, who's forward and defending back down the pitch. What a breakthrough that would have been for the Australians.
Been an absolutely crucial blow.
What's the PG version of that when you get back to the top of your mark and you go, umpire's call?
Yeah,
Come on, umpire.
I'm not sure there is a PG version of that.
I like your honesty. India none for one. Rohit Sharma having got the better of the view. Full delivery outside the off stump, bit of movement, he lets go. Siddle bowls the next delivery from the members' end.
Well, it's been a really good start here for Peter Siddle. Probing as always, but as I said, he's got a very good seam position. He just presents it, so if there isn't anything on offer, he's going to get something out of the surface or through the air.
So a bit about Siddle's journey back to the one-day side. One call from Justin Langer to play for the Test in the UAE. He turns and charges in once more. Full delivery at Yorker to Rohit Sharma. out, plays the mid on to Usman Khawaja. Made for pitted Siddle to start with at the MCG. India none for one after 2 overs. Here a bit in the effects mic there, just some encouragement as he makes his way back down to third man to do his fielding responsibilities, and perhaps Aaron Finch feeling like that was the right call going for Peter Siddle over Billy Stanhope.
Yeah, created a chance, and the umpire's call LBW to Rowan Sharma, but I just like length, it was probing, it was asking Rowan Sharma to make a decision every single ball basically.
Richardson continues from the Great Southern stand end of the MCG. Shikhar Dhawan's up on his toes and defending back down the pitch. India none for one at the start of the third over. Dhawan did to get off the mark. Rohit Sharma on one.
Well, it's a much talked about surface here at the MCG always, but on a slowish type of pitch like this, you really want to try and get the batters to take a risk in hitting you off the top, off the stumps. You see already, it's quite hard to score if you are bowling that straight, good length.
Right arm over the wicket, Richardson, as Darwin's looking to lash at it outside the off stump on the bounce to Glenn Maxwell at backward point.
And even when the Australians were batting, you didn't really see too many drives down the ground. There's a lot of width on offer that picked up boundaries and scoring shots.
Darwin a duck at the SCG, 32 from 28 at the Adelaide Oval. Spooned one to mid-wicket. Richardson in once more, a shorter delivery which Darwin's looking to drive to mid-on. Usman Khawaja does the fielding. These two became the second Indian pair to reach 4,000 partnership runs for 90 opening stands. The fourth opening pair in one-day international history. They played a big part in India's success over the last 5 years. You look at the lists of Ganguly and Sachin Tendulkar at the top of that. Gilchrist and Matthew Hayden from an Australian point of view. Richardson in bowls to Darwin, who's working it off his hip. Back on a square. It's a setter, a challenge for Siddle as he races around. Fine leg and will whip it back in. Darwin collects a couple. Turns at the top of his mark. Ball into Darwin, who's forward and driving back past the bowler. Shuffles to the right to prevent the single. You're done for 4. Fourth over.
Let's carry out Channel's AFL experience there. Take a big overhead mark.
Yeah. This time as an 18-year-old with the GWS Giants in the AFL. I'm told by Kevin Sheedy, sorry mate, there's no spot for you here. Back to South Australia and I'm playing cricket for Glenelg. The Siddle bowls another delivery to Darwin, who's forward and driving. And as far as Usman Khawaja at mid-on. He's going to play footy and cricket at Glenelg. Recapture his love of sport. So being a talented youngster coming through the ranks playing footy and cricket, and spotted playing at North Adelaide in a game there, and the rest, as they say, is history. Yeah.
He's certainly a great athlete. Talented sport.
Darwin on 2, awaiting Settle, leaving inside the off stump.
That's lovely bowling from Pete Settle. That just took off from the wicket, away from Darwin. Banged it in. That went chest height almost to Alex Carey behind the stump. So good carry there from Pete Settle.
Probably see a little bit of the plan here from Aaron Finch going to the 34-year-old to just keep them tight right from the outset. And place to be is out on the deck directly opposite us here at the MCG, which is a new innovation. Siddle comes in, bowls to Darwin and beats him. As he's forward looking to push it out onto the offside. At the end of the over, India none for 4. Sharma on 2, Darwin on 2 as well. Needing 231 for victory. What was that?
Oh, that deck.
Dirk Anderson's house over Christmas period. He was kind enough to have the test team all there, and a little bit similar to his deck, but Ed Cowans took the cake.
Yes, I can imagine.
In Sydney, he had a very nice step.
Heading been very, very nice there, I think.
Just having a look through the binoculars, and there's a few former AFL players. Brent Harvey is part of our grandstand team for the AFL season, is there enjoying his time. John Richardson to start a new over from the southern stand end. Bowling to Rohit Sharma off his pads, hitting in the air. Just over the top. At mid-wicket, and he's able to turn back and come for a couple as Zampa races it down. And a turn and come for 3 in the end. Zampa gathers an off balance with the throw. Sharma moves to 5.
That's the fastest I've seen Adam Zampa move for quite some time. I think it's a long way out to that boundary. Running towards the Hunt Road end. It's a long way out there. He took off after it. Head down, across the tap.
Looking forward to seeing that headband he was talking to you about before play on grandstand today. How do you describe it? A good Chamberlain headband?
Chamberlain headband, yeah.
Said he
channeling NBA.
Didn't have a great hairstyle going at the moment. When awaiting Richardson plays it out of the offside with Stoinis comes charging in at cover point. You're done for 7. Sharma on 5, Darwin on 2. Like I mentioned, John Hastings with you on grandstand one-day cricket. So bowling around 139 to 136 kilometres an hour, so reasonable speed.
Sharapova, the number 30th seed, defeating the defending champion Caroline Wozniacki, the number 3 seed, 6-4, 4-6, 6-3. Sharapova now moves on to an Australian opponent, Ashley Barty, who earlier won through today with a straight sets victory over Marina Sakkari. So that sets up what is going to be a Super Sunday. Plenty of Australians will be following Ash Barty as she takes on Maria Sharapova, former champion here herself. Back to the MCG with Jim Maxwell.
Thank you, Macy, and we've got Peter Siddle below us. We're waiting for Billy's Stanley to explode the ball, but not yet. 2 slips behind Darwin. Siddle bowls to him and he leans on the front foot, plays it down to the covers. Jared Cameron was showing me a list of scores around 230 that have been defended here, and historically there have been a lot, but less recently. If we go back to the 80s in particular, where this pitch used to go underground after an hour's play, 230 was a very good score. Normally the other side wouldn't get to 200. Siddle bowls again, and he's walking into it and getting a quick single down the middle. But it's a bit of a bumper around. Scarraggio got to it eventually, and they took a run. So what do you reckon? How dependable is 230 here?
The guy called Virat Kohli on the side who's got 2100s chasing down totals. I initially thought there was a sort of 260, 70 pitch. We hadn't lost those couple of key wickets early and then a couple late Maxwell storms. Australia would have got those, so I think it'll be a couple of early wickets here will make it interesting for the Australians, but I think the Indians will chase these down reasonably easy, Jim.
Well, yes. Sydney, of course, they were 3 for 4 and still made a game of it. Siddle charges up and it's whipped away by Rohit Sharma. He's drop kicked it over mid-wicket. It's slowing down. It could get to the boundary. It does. That was a fantastic eye shot. He saw the line of it and he just went with his wrists and lifted it away. None for 15 India, and we're in the, what is this, the 5th over? 6th over. 6th over. Number 15 in the 6th.
Relatively easy shot, no one was pick up almost. He just knew it was going for 4 as well. Right from the outset. Just jogging out.
We say we're running. Siddle bowled straight forward. Well played by Rohit Sharma. There is something special about watching Rohit bat. Even if you are a patriotic Australian and you want to see the team do well, you have to admire the skill of this man. And of course, Virat Kohli when he comes to the crease. But it go? Anti-climax outside the obstacle.
Well, I mentioned before, 2100s. The best averages in successful run chases in MS Dhoni's top 99.85, 72 innings. Virat Kohli, 77 innings, 4,853 runs, averaging 99 2100s in successful run chase. So, some pretty huge stats.
Oh, well, he's due to miss out, isn't he? On that basis. Richardson's coming in. He bowls to Kohli. Kohli lets it go again. Sharp delivery outside the off stump, 140 odd clicks. And Kohli saw the line and let it go. 2 slips behind him. Straight and trying to find a way to get some early wickets to stay alive in this match. They made just 230 all out in the 49th over. Hanscom on the score in that innings. 8. And Chahal took 6 wickets. Here's Richardson, back goes Kohli, stands up and hits hard to point. Crowd catch. Maxwell took it on the bounce. And that was pretty well played by Kohli. He picked up the bounce, he was up on his toes, over it, and either side of Maxwell was going to be a few runs.
Yeah, well that's exactly right. It's the precision that he plays with. It's the footwork. His hands playing late, tight.
A bit more bounce there, he might be a chance of a nick, I suppose, early on. Richardson comes into Kohli, Kohli forward to a fuller length ball and defends tidily on the offside. So the crowd was settled in between overs. We've had 7 of those. India 116. They need 231 to win the game. And here we go. Matches with team batting first, making 200 to 250. 40 have been won, 23 lost. So you're saying the percentages favour Australia. That's all time, but in the last 19 years, 5 won and 8 lost. So yes, chasing's a bit more likely than it used to be. Siddle runs in, Chikadawa hits it away on the onside. It's going through square for 1, now 2 runs.
And that's probably a
gets in there. You think pretty well given his experience and the conditions.
He bowls so well over there, which is ball.
Now Richardson tears into bowls of Coley. Coley changes his shot and knocks the ball down the third down for a single. Just got belatedly over the bounce. The single to third man. 125 India, leading to 131. So there was an interesting chat about the 5 bowlers for the Ashes the other day in Adelaide when they were doing the game with Lizzie Gillespie and Tim Nielsen. Of course, as Clarence Hazelwood would start. And then as Richardson gallops in again, he bowls Darwin, defends on the offside. Then the talk was, yes, Siddle. And then who do you reckon the boys down there have a very good feel for as a English conditions bowler playing county cricket this year?
I think there'd be 2 names in that conversation. One would have to be James Pattinson.
Yeah.
The other, Dan Worrell.
You got it.
Yeah.
Dan Worrell. Richardson bowls, Darwin goes back, cuts to point, doesn't score there as he fires Maxwell.
I think Dan Worrell's a very, very good chance of being a smoker for the Ashes tour. If he gets his body right, I know that he's just struggled a little bit. He hasn't been playing for the Melbourne Stars recently, and he bowled exceptionally well the last couple of Sheffield Shield games, but his skills in terms of being able to swing the ball and present the seam both ways at good pace, I think he could definitely be a smoking chance. But the one I want to see over there, and who's got a phenomenal record when he played for Knox this year in the county championship, is James Pattinson.
Around the wicket, Richardson bowls and has chopped away. Darwin wants right for the run, but he doesn't get it because he's sent back. How fit is he?
Well, he's got a little bit of a side niggle at the moment. The good thing about it is he's back playing some cricket and his back's holding up really well from that operation that he had over 12 months ago. So for me, if he's fit and firing, he's got to be in calculation. Just the way he plays his cricket, he's a fierce competitor. He's one of those guys that can play with him, sort of just lifts just that little bit more when he's running in.
Richardson back over the wicket. Darwin defends the ball out on the offside to end the 9th over. It's 1 for 25, and Darwin is on 12, and Coley 4. And those runs coming slowly, but the base being constructed, keeping wickets intact. John Hastings is having a spell, and Christian Beans is back alongside me. Good evening, how are you going?
Really well, and I'm happy now because Big Billy's come on the bowl. I was questioning whether Siddle was the right bowler, but he's taken the wicket and I think he's bowled beautifully opening up. But this is the guy, I think, that if we're going to break this game open, we're going to give the Indians a shake here. I think Big Billy's got to bowl well. He's got to attack the stumps. He's got to try and scare a few of them.
Well, doing well to scare Cole, but he might get him out. Let's see. Stanley comes up, he bowls to Coley. Coley gets a Yorker. Comes down and keeps it out of his stumps. A bit of an ooh from the crowd there. It wasn't top speed, but it was the length to keep Coley on his toes.
That's a really good start, and I think that's got a lot to do with T20 cricket and the need to be on right from the word go. You've only got a spell of 24 balls, and those first few go the distance, and the skipper starts looking in your direction at the end of the over.
Stanley runs into Coley. Coley back and over the line of the bounce. Plays to Maxwell. Comes out there at point. That was a little bit sharper. 141 according to the radar. Stanley has got raw pace. But it's a question of his stamina and durability. But he could pounce here, and he needs a couple of rockets in the right spot to get the breakthroughs. 2 slips behind Coley, who's on 4. Stanley goes in and bowls a bouncer, gets out of the way of it.
It's a nice bouncer there, and it's good to see Billy playing. The last time we were here for the T20 International, he actually got injured in the warm-up doing that drill that they do all the time, and our players do it all the time, is trying to catch them close to the rope, and actually tripped on the rope and hurt his ankle and missed that game. And it's always a disappointing thing to miss a game, particularly one where you know you're in the team already and you trip on the rope as a big fella.
Stan Lake bowls again, and he flashes and misses outside the off stump. And there's a half shout from Carey. He doesn't get anyone helping him. But that was well bowled by Stan Lake. Some bounce at good pace. And Coley attracted to it, as he often is outside the off stump. And it just went past the edge of his bat.
Coley's really the only player that can sort of play a shot like that, and we think, yeah, that's pretty, yeah, why wouldn't he go for that? I think anyone else plays it and say, well, what are they doing? That's just the way he plays, and when you are one of the greats, you can play those sorts of shots.
Stan Lake bowls to him again, and he gets a quick full wall, which he tucks away for a single with an open face run to gully, where Maxwell is coming from point to pick up. Coley's 5, it's 1 for 26. Australia sent in, made just 230. It was an innings of stops and starts. Never really got a big partnership. And Chahal, the leg spinner, took 6 for 42, which is as good as anyone's done with a white ball in one-day cricket in Australia. I think it matched one of his predecessors, Agatha. Bowls now to Darwin, and it's edged. Ball is edged away into the slip ball, second slip, and it didn't carry, but it was a slightly full shot from Darwin, and a good start from Stan Lake. Just one run in his first over. It's 1 for 26 after 10 overs.
Yeah, that's a really good over. I think particularly Aaron Finch wanted over. There was a bit of a conversation about whether there would be just the 1 or the 2 slips, and I like that the skipper said no, 2 slips, and that one nearly goes to hand. But that's a good start for Billy Stanlake, and this is an interesting change. Glenn Maxwell's coming on to bowl at the other end. I think it's going to be an interesting one for Aaron Finch as to when he
Darwin likes that too. He's going to get a couple. He's dispatched it through from behind point for 2 runs on the run of Richardson. So the run's flying along comfortably in this over, the 11th of the innings. It's 1-4-33. The crowd over 50,000 now, which is a very good roll-up on a Friday night. Not surprising in Melbourne that number has turned up. So well done everyone in Melbourne, turning up for this deciding game in the series. Maxwell bowls Darwin forward. It's a dot ball to finish the over. So the score is 1-for-33, 11 overs. Kristen Beans is alongside me, and 7 runs from that over, and Al Linton's coming in.
I think that was a good over by the 2 Indian batsmen to get up and down the wicket. Just the 1 dot ball in the over, and I think that's really good batting at this stage of the game. I think that last ball though from Glenn Maxwell, happy to see him take a little bit of pace off that ball. I think that's what he needs to do Glenn Max was probably the option, but you know, obviously looking to skid it on. But now we're seeing the leg spinner, and as always, I'm happy when the leg spinner comes on.
14 Coley with that boundary. India 1 for 39 at the end of the Stanley David. 12 overs down in this run chase. Darwin will have the strike. He's on 16. Adam Zampa has come on the southern end of the MCG. We spoke to him prior to the game and he said he was feeling very relaxed, that he'd been on edge when he played for Australia the previous series against South Africa. Probably had an eye to the World Cup and was thinking about that too far down the track. He just wanted to be in the moment, play without pressure tonight and enjoy himself. Made a little contribution with the bat towards the end, trying to support Hansen. He made 8. So Darwin on strike 16. Fine-legged third man up. Deep cover point, extra cover, long off. Darwin works the first one fine to short fine leg. Fielding is done by Siddle and a single taken. Darwin to 17, 1 for 40 India at the start of the 13th over, then 231. That's the target for victory. Sanders got the green headband on. He said the Wilt Chamberlain headband he was going for when John Hastings probed away in the interview prior to the match.
You have to be cool, there's no doubt about it. If you're going to wear a headband and bowl, you have to be cool.
Coley on strike, Khawaja stands at slip, Coley drives, runs it out to deep cover points, just 1. Coley to 15, India 1 for 41.